All right, Friday night, and this is kind of a typical afternoon for me. The wind's died down, so I'm shooting. I'm converting my tack bow over to kind of a hunting setup. I'm not 100% sure which of my bows I'm going to hunt with, so I'm going to actually shoot with all of them, but I'm getting them all ready. So this bow was totally dialed for tack, and it was actually heavy because this is the rebuild after I had my accident with my previous number one, so I had to rebuild a hunting one, which is why I was shooting tack with very high poundage. Normally I'd never do that. So I'm taking this, and what I'm going to do, I'll remove the back bar off, quiver will go on. But what I did is I went ahead and sighted this in quick with my hunting arrows, and it's a pretty easy and fast process. So this right here is actually my big sight tape that I had on. Now for tack I had lighter arrows, so now I've gone to a 540 grain arrow, so this is much slower. But what I did was I just took the heavy arrow and I just re-zeroed my 20-yard mark with that tape that I already had on it from tack. And then what I did was I went to the longest yardage where I felt comfortable shooting. For me, it was 90 yards. And all I did was I saw where I needed to set my sight so that I could be dead center at 90. And so what I had to do was I actually had to be about 12 yards faster, or it was 12 yards faster. So in other words, instead of it being on 90, it was on 102 in order to hit dead center at 90 with that previous tape for a very light arrow. So then all I did was I found a spot here where when I took that tape off and stuck it on and lined up the 20s, I just found a spot where that 90 is going to match, and then I know I have my scale. So it's kind of a quick thing if you're I already forgot which one I had here, but if you are a intermediate person with a bow and you've put on a few sight tapes, then you'll know that you don't always have to like remove a sight tape, put on the sight in tape, then sight in, then cut out a scale, then double check your scale. If you've got a scale where you're going to be in the ballpark and you kind of know, well, it's a heavier arrow, I'm going to add a couple yards and just get on the bail and I'm going to walk it in, which is what I did. If you're zeroed at 20 with that new arrow, then all you got to do is, figure out what number at a longer distance you have to be on. So again, instead of me being on 90, I was on 102. So in that case, I just found a scale to where a 20 to 90 fit the 20 to the 102. Now I'm going to stick that on and I'm shooting right away with way less effort involved. So yes, there it is right there. So I'll cut that sucker out in no time. If my theory is correct, I shall shoot the dead center of that javelina square on my first shot. Like that. Okay, now if I'm accurate on my sight tape, I shall be able to just do that and then go downtown on that buffalo like that. It's pretty dang good guessing right there. My scale is set. So now all I'm going to do to wrap this up, is I'm going to take this bow, remove rear stabilizer, get my quiver mounted, and then just spend some days shooting this bow. I might build another one, shoot it a little bit, and just see which one's giving me the best performance. Sometimes if you're not doing it with multiple bows, then you can do the same thing with different types of arrows. I actually tried some different vanes, ended up not liking them, came back to where I was at. So trial and error, and then just get reps in prior to season. You're going to be dynamite once you're pulling back on the real thing.